Hey there, guys. We are live. Welcome to the Free China Prime live stream. Let me bring in Mr. Prime in China. There he is. How's it going, Mr. Corey? Are you good?
Whew. Yeah, good. I appreciate that. Really good. Yeah,
We are live and
little
we are
little
ready to
day.
go. So, how have you been? What have you been up to today?
Oh man, just different things. Not too terribly busy, but
Yeah,
it's when you get random calls, you got to do stuff real quick, and it's my fault we're a little late here, but
it's
I
okay.
appreciate it. So
It's okay. It might be better doing it a bit later. We might have more people coming in at this time. I don't know. The time we usually do is a bit odd for some people, but hey ho, that's life.
sure.
So today we have quite an interesting one. We're going to be talking about people in Taiwan flying China's flags on the streets, as you've probably seen from the title. Maybe it's kind of clickbaity. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because now people are going to stop watching. But oh well, that's life. So let's
Wah,
get
wah, wah.
Exactly. So let's get straight into it, and we will. Here we go. We're going to start off with some funny clips from China. This is not necessarily like big news, but we're going to put it in the China news segment anyway. So that's creepy as hell, isn't it?
Man,
So we have this new technology in China. They've just released a new type of truck. It's this autonomous robotic organism that they've got going on. I guess you could say it's like an Autobot. So let's check it out.
really exciting.
My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron. But you can call us Autobots for short.
Autobots, transform!
I
Okay.
don't think he's supposed to do that.
Something tells me you're right there. I do not think it was supposed to do that. That is funny as hell, right? I mean, have you ever seen anything like that?
Ah. No, but like if you told me that it happened in China, I would be like, makes sense, doesn't it? Like the stuff you see in China, you would tell yourself like that would never happen anywhere else except China.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The roads in China are insane, right? I mean, you know how in the US you don't call them a zebra crossing. What do you call it? A crosswalk?
Yeah, crosswalk. Yeah.
Okay, well, in China, the crosswalk is not for pedestrians to cross. It's basically a big target for target practice for drivers so they can see you. And if they hit you, they probably get 100 points. I don't know. It's like this massive game. It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, like people, that is one thing. China is a super safe country unless you drive a car,
Yeah.
unless you walk near a car. It's like anything that deals with traffic in China, it's not safe. It's not.
Yeah. Like
Definitely not.
some of the taxi drivers, like you would get in the taxi driver, you would like go to buckle up the seatbelt and it would be broken. So you're just like, oh
The
screw it.
fucking buckle is just like, like, the hell is that? You grab onto the thing and you're like, ah,
Yeah.
ah, ow! You're like,
The
really,
driver's like texting on his phone and he's just like that, like
you
fucking
got it, and he's texting, he's like got a cigarette going. You're like, what the hell, shit.
So what we're trying to say here is that the roads in China are pretty nightmarish. And we got something else.
快啲，車仲攞到河頭啫！
What?
That's not a boat. Oh my.
哎呀，沉下啫！
What I find funny is that the back windscreen wiper is still going.
that's the other thing too. Like in China, when people see stuff like this happen, they just stare at it. There's like no urgency. There's like no help. Oh my gosh, something's happening. People are just like, meh, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they kind of like naturally just crowd around and like take photos and don't really try to like help the person in trouble. Like, there's no like
Yeah,
good Samaritan, you know.
yeah, yeah. It's true. They'll just film it. Like you could be a dead body. People would just they'd step around you.
Yeah,
They don't care.
and
Um,
I just think it's hilarious that the windscreen wiper was still going there, as if it's trying to like get rid of the water on the car. I don't think it's gonna succeed there, you know.
it's like help, help, help. And they're
Yeah,
like, no.
and again,
Nothing.
like the truck, this is something that you're only ever going to see in China. You're by the river, you're having a nice little like picnic with your family, and then just all of a sudden a car goes through the river.
Yeah, this is clearly like one of those rivers that goes through the town, and like there's just apparently there's a car going through that river too. So yeah.
Can you imagine just like hanging out in Venice or something like that, and just all of a sudden you're on the canal there on a gondola, and then a car just sweeps past through the
Oh
river.
man. Or like in Chicago that happening. Like people would be freaking out. They would be like police would be everywhere. They would have like helicopters above. They would just be doing everything they could to figure
Yeah.
out how to fix the problem. They're in China, they're like, yeah, it'll get to the ocean eventually.
Yeah. And I hope that there are no people in this car. I don't think there are, but let's hope.
Oh man. Oh
Yeah.
man, if there is, then yeah, you're as good as dead. You're
Game
not good
over.
saved.
Game over,
That's for
man.
sure. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Okay, another sort of this whole section here is kind of road related. So we have this BYD electric bus. Um, God, somewhere I can't remember. I think somewhere in Guangdong. I can't remember exactly where, but it just caught fire, and there's a bunch of students just escaping the bus. It's kind of a nightmarish scene. Look at this.
Hey, look at them running for their safety.
Yeah.
Oh, Pa.
Yeah, like, man. I mean, I just think if this happened in the US or in the UK, you would never hear the end of it. This would be like front page news.
Oh,
This would be all over the place, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, it would just be lawsuits and just crazy stuff. But there in China, when the government owns the traffic authority, there's nobody for you to sue. There's nobody for you to complain to. It would just fall on deaf ears for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In fact,
Nobody's
you
really.
might even get in trouble for complaining about it. You know what I mean? If you made a big enough stink, you would get in trouble.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, these kids, they don't really have any way to complain about this anyway, right? I mean, the parents might say something to the school, but at the end of the day, how can you hold the government accountable when they are accountable to nobody?
yeah, I remember one time I actually got on a bus, and this was at the bus station, and we got on the bus, and it started to smoke a little out of the back, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we're gonna take a different one," and I'm like, "Good idea. Let's all get off the bus and take another one." Like, 'cause who knows? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it
Jesus.
didn't completely catch on fire, but I mean, like, who knows? Like,
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's scary. And you see this a lot in China. You see like, like electric cars just spontaneously combust and explode all over the place. So,
mm,
you obviously one of their buses, if it's like a BYD electric bus, their chances are, if it's the same sort of shit as their cars, it's gonna be
yeah.
exploding.
Well, those buses are worked to death. You know, they go nonstop, and then they don't do any maintenance on them. Like you know that they don't keep up on the maintenance because I remember like we had a really bad storm one day, and they drove through a puddle that was so large, like water was coming in through the side door, and I'm like, aren't we on an electric bus? Like, how can that be like good for that vehicle to be in that deep of water, knowing it's an electric vehicle? You know, like, and why are we on this electric vehicle going through this giant puddle? Like, you know,
Yeah.
but they didn't care.
You make a
So,
good point. You make a good point there. Like things, although they look new and shiny for a short time, they're definitely not
mm.
maintained. There's very a lack of maintenance in China for sure.
Right, and people never question it in China. People don't question the maintenance and the fact that they're on a bus that who knows it's been drove through some crazy puddle of water just yesterday. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and this is like a bus that students are using to go to school. Like it's pretty horrific.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from this one. What have we got next? Only time will tell. Yeah, scary.
不知道
Okay, so this is kind of related to a lot of like the real estate development nightmare that China is going through. Lots of new developments being built, people investing in said developments, and then losing all of their money because it was some big scheme. It was something, to just rinse people of their money, and people are getting pissed off with this. So this woman, she went to this little street that had been built. It had been sort of constructed to look like one of those kind of old streets in China, and the whole street is closed. Not a single shop is open, and the shop owners have put up some signs on the windows of the shops just to really show their frustration. Let's just have a look at what they're
不知道
saying.
为啥
So she says, I don't know
这么古
why
色古香
such a quaint street
的街道全都写
and everywhere is written, "Give me back my hard-earned
的
money."
是还我血汗钱，黑心开发
So, Black Heart Developer says there on those signs.
商还我血汗钱，
Okay, please give me back my hard-earned
全都
money.
是
I mean, that's just a small snippet of the bigger picture in China, but it really is just crazy how a lot of these new developments are opening and then instantly closing like that, right?
Yeah, I that's the thing in China. China is one of those cultures where it's like everybody saves. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of money, but then there's also a lot of these like bullshit investment schemes. Like somebody will come to you and they'll be like, "Hey, I've got a friend and he wants to do this and this and this and we're looking for investors." And Chinese people are always so desperate. Like Chinese people, love money. And I mean like we all love money, right? But like Chinese people are like a desperate love of money to where it's like nothing is more important than money to Chinese people. Like
Yeah.
cut off your left hand, like it's gone. The money's the big thing. And then this happens all the time, and then people like they fall for this big bullshit deal, and then they lose their money, and then they complain after. And it happened like with Bitcoin over there. It's happened to the stock market a lot of times, and everyone gets on the boat with these investments, and then everybody gets screwed. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is like I said, this is just like a small part of the problem, like you've just seen like what was that real estate company Evergrande? That was a huge
Yeah.
story, right?
Yeah, yeah. People, and that's the thing. Chinese people don't keep up on like economy type of thing and like how stuff is doing. It's all word of mouth, like, hey, I know somebody that knows somebody that invests in this, so I'm going to do it too. You know what I mean? That's what it's
Yeah.
all about.
Like word of mouth kind of thing, and they paid a price for it. Like this street here, I mean, could be a really nice touristy area, but it's a ghost. It's a ghost town now, which is just sucks. Let's just look at some of it.
这
Yeah,
里
look
也
at
不知道
that.
坑了多
Don't know how many people's money was stolen here.
少人的钱。
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking because a lot of the people they get really, really desperate, and they usually end up like outside one of the real estate developers' offices or something like that. Holding up protest signs, and the government rarely steps in to help them. And a lot of people get so desperate that they even hold up like pro-government slogans, even though it's the government that's responsible for shafting these people out of their money.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You think about how the circle works here is you have all these people that gather all this money together, something gets paid for, and then something gets built. But we all know what it's like in China when something gets built. It's always built with like crap stuff. They're not taking all that money and investing in high end materials and high end labor and having these people engineer everything and architects, you know, figure all this stuff out. They're getting everything done as cheap as possible. They do it with big buildings, big projects, little projects. It doesn't matter. It's all done for as little to nothing, as quickly as possible, for as cheaply as possible. So even if you did invest in something like this, who says it's going to last anyway? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I
we've all
mean,
seen the tofu dregs and that kind of
right,
thing.
right.
I think anybody who watches this channel or watches your channel, they know all too well that things are not built in China to last.
Yeah. It's always a money grab. It's always, find a big plan, charge as much as we can, build it for as cheap as possible, and pocket the rest. And that's
Yeah,
that's always the plan.
yeah. Things ain't built how they used to be. Well, I don't know. Did they even used to be built well in China? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's move on from this one because I think we've
全都是
said enough. Mm, she's still talking.
这里也不知道坑了多少人的钱。
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now this is just a clip for fun. Let's not take this too seriously, but this is a very sort of like typical scene. I don't know if you've ever been to like rural parts of China, Corey. I guess you have.
Mhm.
Being married to a Chinese girl and that kind of thing. You must have went to rural China maybe to meet her family, I
Oh,
guess, or something like that.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Rural China is the fun China. That's the real China that they don't want you to see, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they really don't want you to see it because it's generally not as high tech as their big cities. The people are brutally honest there, and they do some crazy things, and this is just a typical scene. I just remember when I was in China, going to like some small villages and just seeing this kind of random thing. Let's just watch it and then we'll just talk about it. Look at their faces. They are miserable. You got Mao Zedong sitting there on the left.
Oh,
Now
mm,
that is not enjoyable. Is that
mm.
enjoyable to you?
Yeah, that's the thing for people that don't know, like if you live in a tier 1 city in China, like you're pretty gifted because like there's a reason people go from the countryside to these tier 1 cities. It's because it like excuse my language, but it fucking sucks. Rural China,
Yeah.
it really sucks. They don't have anything. Like the toiletry systems is garbage. The
Oh,
water systems are garbage.
yeah.
Like the buildings, like until I went to rural China, I'd never seen people living in a house that had like one of the walls missing, and I was like, so they
Yeah.
live there, and they were like, yeah, and I was like, that's crazy. Like that's where the real poverty is in China that you don't see. It is in China, and it is in rural China. And just
Yeah.
imagine you're living in that shit, and then you've got to go to one of those types of things, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
mm,
That's their source of entertainment, man. Like
yeah,
and it's like, you know, we they don't have a cinema to go to. That's their entertainment. And
my gosh.
don't get me started on like the living conditions there, like the toilets, like literally like most homes there do not have a proper functioning toilet. They'll have this like big hole in the ground outside. It doesn't even have like a drainage system, a sewage system. You literally just take a dump in a massive hole in the back garden, and there's no running hot water. People rarely have a shower or anything in their home like that. It is
Mhm.
abject poverty.
That was the first time that I had ever seen the trough in China. And for people that have never seen like the trough, that is where like you go into the bathroom, and this is disgusting, I know, but you squat over a trough, and your feces rolls downhill through a trough with water, and everyone else's does too. So you get to see everyone else's poo.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I was like, oh my, like trying to not throw up while I'm, taking care of business. Never seen anything like that
Getting
before.
some horrible images in my head right now.
It was, yeah, I never seen anything like that before. I wasn't prepared for that. But
You were
yeah,
watching like your turd race with a bunch of other people's.
well, it didn't occur to me what was happening as I was doing this. I was like, wait a minute. So if I'm doing this, and there's like four people this way, and it's flowing this way, and then when it happens, you're like, oh,
That is gross,
yeah,
dude.
it's horrible. Yeah,
So Jasmine has a question here. Is that a person or instrument making that screeching sound?
that is a banshee, a possessed
Yeah,
banshee from hell.
I think it's a
It's
person. Yeah, it's a
yeah, I
person.
think it's a person. Probably. Either way, whether it's a person or an instrument, it,
Sounds horrible.
it it's not pleasing.
Yeah.
No, it's not pleasing. That's a person. Ah! Ah! Ah!
It'll make my head
Someone
explode.
call the police.
Yeah. Oh
Probably
god.
needs
Oh
a paramedic.
yeah. Don't call this guy who we're gonna look at next, that's for sure. Because we have one of this was like recorded before that I show speed guy rocked up into
Mm.
Chengdu, I think it was, and this is one of his fans.
What?
Fuck!
And the guy said newbie.
Yeah, he's like Nyobi, Nyobi. For those who don't know
Yeah.
what that means, in Mandarin, if you say Nyobi, it basically means like awesome. It literally means cow's pussy, like Nyobi.
Mm.
But yeah, for some reason that means I guess it's similar to saying the dog's bollocks, which means awesome as well in British English.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're saying this guy is a newbie, like he's awesome because he's wearing like a freaking KKK outfit, carrying a whip. What the hell?
Damn. Yeah. Probably more of that like shit that they set up because again, like I think you would be hard pressed to find a Chinese person that knows American culture enough to know about that type of thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but he probably put them up to that type of shit for
You would
clips and stuff.
you would hope
I would
so.
hope so. I would hope
Yeah,
so. Anyways, yeah.
I hope so too. But either way, Like, even if it is a setup, it's still fucked up.
Right.
What the?
I mean, look at that. Like, what the hell, dude? Come on, man.
What the fuck? Fuck! Oh.
Jesus. Jesus. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Let me just get us a little bit bigger for a second. Yeah, so that's like most of the China-y type stuff, you know, not really big news, but just funny stuff. Now we're gonna move on to the Taiwan stuff. Because we have some interesting like developments happening around Taiwan that I thought we could touch upon today. So the first one isn't actually in Taiwan, but it's Taiwan related. So let's just get it on the screen. All right. So Corey, have you heard of a show? It's like a South Korean show called The Running Man.
Hmm.
Yeah, have you seen it before? Because I haven't.
No, I haven't, but I've heard.
Okay, I think it's like some sort of like it was like a variety show that I think it started in 2010, and it involves like people going on these like urban missions, and they have races around, and over time it kind of like shifted into this more sort of like reality game focused kind of show. Um, it's got like some dude hosts it. It's really popular, and it's sort of I think there's like different versions in different countries, although I'm not
Mhm.
really sure. And I think you can watch it on Netflix, apparently. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Like so anyway, there's this Running Man museum in South Korea in Seoul where you can actually go there and play some of the games. And would you believe it? We have a Chinese guy going into the museum and he gets furious because he plays a game where you have to identify the capital city of a country, and Taiwan showed up on the screen. And man, as soon as he saw that Taiwan flag, his glass heart shattered into a million pieces, and he just got real mad. Let's just watch the video that he made. It's hilarious.
这他妈台湾啊！他说找每个国家首都啊，他妈他出现台湾地图啊！你妈，付完了走了。啊，韩国的 Running Man 原来是这副嘴脸。今天已经到了行程的第4天，本来心情挺好的，来到了 Running Man 的博物馆，玩了一圈，看到了一个看地图猜首都的游戏。哎，这个我拿手，它的规则里也写的非常清楚，是看地图猜国家的首都。但是玩着玩着就跳出一个台湾省的地图让我猜首都。作为一个中国人，我当时就炸了。然后我又重新测试了一下中国地图，但是地图上就是缺了台湾省。Running Man 在中国虽然非常火，但是中国的主权不容侵犯，维护国家统一是每一个中国人的义务。随后我立即结束了我在韩国的行程。本视频仅代表个人声明，将全力抵制 Running Man。
It's just a flag, dude. Come on.
Yeah, a few things there. One of the things that when I lived in China that really was funny to me was Chinese people don't understand that there's a reality going on outside of China, and it may just be slightly different than what they know. You know what I mean? And the other thing is I like how like when these Chinese people are like, it is every Chinese person's duty to defend, and I'm like, no, it's not, dude. It's like you're fucking 4'10". Like, you're not going to defend anything from anyone anyways. You would never go to war yourself. You're a fucking coward. You're not going to do shit. You're just going to go online and you're going to cry about it and stamp your little feet and make a big deal about it over the internet. Like, you're not actually going to do anything. You're not going to defend anything.
Yeah. Like
come
seriously. I mean, like I'm actually 4'10". Oh no, sorry, I'm not fur puby. So
But he would never do anything anyways. You know what I mean? Like, and it's such a dumb point anyways. Like you said, it's just a flag. It's just a game on a screen. Like, you're really that upset about it?
yeah, and these
Yeah.
joker nationalists, they they say that they're speaking for every Chinese person, but that's bullshit, man. Not every Chinese person gives a shit about this. Like, I think you'll find
Yeah.
that the majority of them don't give a crap about it, Like, this guy he's just a stupid nationalist who is just brainwashed, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that he even cares is just, it shows. Like, it does show that the brainwashing in China does work. Propaganda does work on people. It really does.
Yeah, like what Wheezy Squeezebox just wrote there. The brainwashing is strong with this one.
Yeah, because it's everywhere, right? It's on the metro stations when you walk on your way to work, and then it's on television at night. It's on the radio. It's on the internet. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's just stupid, man. I mean, just I think even him getting upset that there's a flag of Taiwan, I can kind of understand that just because he has been brainwashed and, he has just been told his whole life that Taiwan is a province of China. But just like getting up and leaving the whole country just because of that one little thing, now that is ridiculous. I bet he didn't. I bet he didn't leave Korea. I bet he enjoyed the rest of his holiday there.
Sure, because here's the thing. Like, I find out for like these nationalist Chinese people, they're very patriotic, right? But it's very like for show. It's not like, well, I'm gonna make China a better place. It's more like, you know, just some shit that they'll say, but there's no real action behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Um,
here's the thing, like he's in Korea. Like
right.
Korea, it's like Korea can they can put Taiwan's flag wherever the hell they want because they don't follow the CCP's policies on Taiwan, you know?
Yeah, it's that double standard where China is always like, well, we want everyone to stay out of our politics. But what they don't realize is that from a political standpoint, 98% of other countries have a different opinion than China on pretty much just about everything. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. That is
So,
a great point. Yeah, definitely. Just ridiculous. Anyway, this guy, like, I don't think he's going to go very far in life with this attitude.
yeah, no, of course not. And that's just in Korea. Like, imagine if he goes to some of the other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very unhappy.
Oh God. Okay, so let's move on
我
because
个人声明，我将全力抵制
boycott Running Man with all my strength.
Running Man。
Yeah, right.
Grrr.
Okay. Yeah, this is stupid. This is freaking stupid. So, like the whole like thing of China threatening Taiwan is now like escalating to new levels of them threatening invasion. And this one's from the People's Land Liberation Army, Eastern Theater. And they've released this like stupid propaganda where they made these videos, and one of the like captions on the video there, the slogan is "Enter Pussy," referring to Taiwan as a pussy that they need to enter. Kind of weird.
Yeah. What are like this thing with China is just really obsessed with Taiwan. It's a like I said before, it's like your big brother that picks on you and he just never leaves you the hell alone, and you're just like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's just way worse than that, even.
Well, it's way worse. It's like the jealous stalker ex-girlfriend, but
Yeah.
she's not even an ex-girlfriend because you never even went out with her, but she is just obsessed with you and will not stop until she can have you. And if she can't have you, then she will kill you. She will do something nefarious to you, right?
Mhm. She's fat and ugly like me, you know?
Hey, you said it.
Man.
And she just will never give up. even after 75 years, she just hasn't
Man,
given up. And she's old and
like
crusty, and so are you.
she's like a fat boy on a brownie, man. She just ain't gonna let it go. You know, telling you.
So here's some more of their propaganda, like thunder rolling and slashing, referring to them invading Taiwan. And then you've just got this like pathetic video.
Inter-cinematic music.
Yeah, yeah. I changed the music. There was like cinematic music like this, but I put some non-copyright stuff on because every time I include music that they've used, it's always copywritten, believe it or not.
Hmm. Trucks driving down the street.
Trucks driving down the empty street, showing that there is no prosperity in China.
But there's just one problem. There's an ocean between China and Taiwan.
Yeah, and the biggest problem is they can't swim. No, I don't know.
Right? They're like, we will bomb you with missiles.
Yeah, that can't hit the target.
And they never talk about like what the repercussions will be. You know, it's like now the entire world is pissed at you. You know?
Yeah, look at that.
Ooh, that CGI. Beautiful CGI there, isn't it?
Yeah, glorious,
Yeah.
glorious. They just found like a green screened explosion that you can just rip off of YouTube. You know, that's kind of like the effects
Yeah.
that I use.
Like they, you know, and here's the thing: it's like, do you really want to bomb Taiwan? Like, are they really that big of a deal to you? Like, I just, you know, I understand why, because Taiwan is like, it's you know, the progressive free country in Asia, right? And it's like right next to China. It represents everything that China wishes that it was, you know, and that's the reason they hate Taiwan so much. But it still baffles me that a country so big could be upset at Taiwan. You know, like it's just baffling.
Yeah. It's because Taiwan, like you said, it sort of like represents everything that they could be. It represents the better side of them. So they're just pissed because they can't be like that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, imagine being a mainland person and like knowing that Taiwan is there and that these people have freedom, they have all this stuff that you know you could wish that you would have, but like you'll never have it because your shitty government will just never allow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's why they just like censor everything because they don't want their people to see that because that will create problems.
Yeah, like imagine if you did have the Taiwanese government in control of the mainland there, you would have a powerhouse of a country with unlimited freedoms, you know, and then all that money and everything. You really would. No other country in the world would be able to compete at all. You know
And
what I
I
mean?
would be very happy with a country like that being the number one in the world.
Oh man, I would still be in China. I would have never left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
it
would
would be
stay.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So controlled energy channel, new supply route. The pig runs in a hidden way. What the hell is it even on about?
Right.
Oh, this is ridiculous as well. So that's the president of Taiwan, Lai Ching-de, and yeah, just look at this like ridiculous animation. It's actually kind of funny.
So
A
bro.
few moments later.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
A few moments later.
What the hell are we watching?
They're like,
seriously.
we need to make one of these things, but we don't want to pay anybody too much. They're like, how's 35 renminbi gonna work? All right, we finished. 35 renminbi. This is what I got. Oh, wonderful.
It looks like shit,
Anyway,
doesn't it? It looks so like
yeah,
amateur.
like I would be embarrassed to put that anywhere. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what's the
It's like
deal with like?
the Fiverr, the Timu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They basically paid like some dude in, I don't
The
know, in
Timu
like,
animator.
yeah. Oh God, it looks just. Oh my God, like just they're just basically saying that he's like a cockroach and that he's burning down Taiwan, but quite the opposite.
Yeah, the Timu animator came to him. He's like, I did everything by hand. I drew everything by hand. It's like, oh, we know. We know. Trust me. You know.
Look at it! Oh my
Uh,
God. What were they thinking? And like, this is the thing, man. Like, they just churn out so much bullshit propaganda for Taiwan that they probably don't even have anybody like proofreading that shit or, somebody in quality control to check it. They just pump it out, pump it out, pump it out. And this is the result. This like piece of shit
yeah.
animation of like Taiwan's president like burning down Taiwan. It's like fucking kindergarten level shit. This is. Look at
Yeah.
it.
China, like, they need to hire somebody that, like, deals with their propaganda to just sit there and be like, that's okay. That's fucking stupid. Please don't put that out. And then just, like, because they don't understand, like, what resonates with the rest of the world, anyways. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Like what works in China doesn't necessarily work in the UK or in the US. So when we see stuff like this, we just find it hilarious. And like I think Mike's comment is pretty funny here. Chopsticks of destiny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a good way to put it.
Oh dear. Okay, let's move on because yeah, we could spend all day ripping the shit out of this. But is it worth it? Probably not. The sound effects as well. Okay, so the next thing, and this is like the stream's title. So there have been some videos on TikTok and Xiaohongshu saying that people in Taiwan are there raising China's flag as if the Taiwanese people are rebelling against their government. So the text there, very small text, you can see at the top of that video. It says, "A tunnel in Taipei is jammed." It turned out that they were all middle aged people who were rushing to worship their ancestors during the Qingming festival. They led everyone to sing, and the whole tunnel was filled with songs of longing. It is the traditional virtues of the Chinese nation that brings us together here. So look at it. So this is in Taiwan. People in the tunnels in Taiwan. Or is it? Oh, does Taiwan have China Post with simplified characters there? Ugh, they got busted. What the hell?
Happens every time. Like, that's what propaganda is. You know, I tell people that all the time. Like, propaganda doesn't have to be true. That's, that's what makes it propaganda. You know.
Yeah, yeah, but why do they have to be sloppy with it, man? Why do they have to be so goddamn sloppy? Like, don't they realize that there was a China Post truck? And I guess this one is going to be under this little segment. Call the goddamn propaganda police because they are here to arrest all of these people. This is not Taiwan.
That's again, that just goes back to how things are done in China. Like, it's honestly, again, things are just half-assed done in China all the time. even propaganda. Like people aren't putting in their best efforts when it comes to this stuff. Nobody thought about this. You know what I mean? Like this is a common sense thing. And somebody sitting there behind the camera staring at that sign, and no one ever thought, hey, like, isn't this kind of a dead giveaway? You know?
Yeah, they could have like just taken that shot out, you know. I could have fixed that in 5 seconds, but then again, you would there's still like dead giveaways that this is China. For example, I think if you see like the license plates on the cars, although they're not completely visible, I'm pretty sure that in Taiwan they don't have blue license plates like that. And I think just maybe the way some of the people are dressed as well, they just look like mainland Chinese, in my opinion. And you just would not see that happen in Taiwan, like not at all. Like you would not see people raising the flag of China for sure. Ah, anyway, anyway, let's move on from that. We have the last little topic that we're going to talk about for today, and it is my favorite subject, not um, tariffs. Yay! But one of the
Hmm.
funny things is that the U.S. Has published this on, I think, is it the State Department's website or something like that, talking about the tariffs that they're going to impose on different countries. And as you can see, Taiwan is listed as a country, which
Hmm.
obviously has pissed China off.
Hmm. I mean, they have their own flag, their own government, their own military. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
that's the other thing for China. Like, it's too far gone to look and complain about Taiwan. It's just too far gone. They've already established too much. They have everything there. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
let it go.
they shouldn't have left it so long, right?
Yeah, like they. And again, why do they care? Again, it's the simple fact. Again, like why do they care?
Yeah.
Supposedly your country's so great, you've got so much technology, you're so advanced, you're leading in every way possible. That Taiwan, you just can't let that one go. You know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
a weird
ridiculous.
thing.
And you can see like some like post from China. They've changed it to just to be petty. They've changed it to Chinese Taiwan there, as you can see. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's always very petty. Like there's always some petty response from China. Always just
yeah, it's
yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, as you know, like there's been some big moves out of Washington this week as Donald Trump shakes up global trade again. He's announced like sweeping tariffs, all of this stuff, and I think is it true that he's paused tariffs on most other countries for 90 days, but he's increased the tariffs like really um, over like 100% or something like that on China. I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly tariffs have been relieved on every country for 90 days except China. And I guess from what he says, and who knows what will happen tomorrow or the next day, obviously. But from the understanding is that countries have come and they've decided that they want to negotiate, except for China. Well,
Right.
it kind of makes sense because China wants to be, they want to be the number one country and they want to be the country that everyone has to negotiate with them.
Yeah.
So they don't want to back down from it. But at the same time, and I was saying this to a lot of people that I know, is you know it's long overdue. Countries should have come together a long time ago and told China that they're tired of the trade, they're tired of the threats. It's just
Yeah.
long overdue. It really
Yeah.
is.
No, I agree. I agree. I think it's like funny because didn't China like increase tariffs on the US to 84%? So now I think the US has like retaliated with 125% or something like that.
Right. It's just the situation where China, I know that, because of Donald Trump, of course, being such talkative figure and being so, whether you love or hate the guy, regardless
Polarizing.
of that, you know, tariffs have been around for a very long time. And China has been using them against your country, no matter where you're from, for a very long time, whether you're European or American or from somewhere in Asia. Your country has been getting screwed by China for a long time through tariffs, through forced, IP and all this type of stuff. China's been manipulating their currency for a long time.
Yeah.
They've been screwing the world over, and it's finally time that it turns around.
Yeah.
The world has built China into what it is, and
Right.
unfortunately, it's a huge communist shithole. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Like what always gets me is like this is a country that claims developing country status, but at the same time is the second largest economy in the world. They have like their own space program. They have like the second largest military in the world. How can this be a developing country that gets all of the benefits of being a developing country, but at the same time be like this, like I said, this powerhouse of a country? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because countries like America, we made that mistake of allowing them to do all that. And we did a lot of good things too. Like, China always talks about Tsinghua University. We paid for that damn thing. Like we gave them that university. You know what I mean? We gave them funding for it and everything. And same thing. A lot of countries have helped China develop over the years, and we shouldn't have because it's a communist country, and they're not going to help us back. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, if these tariffs work, then it's going to be a good thing, I think. But only time will tell, and I guess we'll be keeping our eye on that on this show. But yeah,
Right.
it is very interesting.
Well, and that's the thing. China's economy is a lot weaker than people think that it is too. They may not collapse and fall down overnight, but like it's getting worse. It really is. All these like Evergrande and all these companies filing for bankruptcy and banks running out of money, like it's very real. And the tariffs are not going to help that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, I think the US, they slapped like a 32% tariff on Taiwanese goods, but rather than retaliating, I think Taiwan did the smart thing and they're like offering zero tariffs and plus more like investment in the US and a lot more purchases. So that's a good, that's good that they didn't just like retaliate. Like, China's instinct is always just retaliate, retaliate, retaliate. Whereas it looks like Taiwan has done the smart thing here.
hmm Yeah, again, back to what I was saying. Trump is very polarizing. He's very stubborn. We know that, and China is also very stubborn. And so you have two stubborn entities going at it,
Yeah.
and that's the way that it is, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
maybe that's a good thing, because China is not one of those countries that will negotiate too much. If they're not screwing you over, then they're not happy. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Taiwan, they're reaching out to Washington to begin negotiations. And obviously, right now, Taiwan's stock market has taken a bit of a hit. It's down 5.8%. But if they can get a deal with the US, then it'll pick things up, I think.
and that's the thing. I don't know how you guys there feel about Taiwan, but the average person here in America is they're very pro Taiwan.
Yeah.
They there's no negativity towards Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Especially here in my city. Like I said in my city before, there's a lot of support for Taiwan here locally. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of love for Taiwan here as well. I just think that a lot of people don't even know that Taiwan exists in the UK.
Sure,
It's
sure.
tragic.
It is a small country, but it is one of the most important countries right now in world politics, for sure.
Yeah,
You
this
know?
is why I go around on the streets, like trying to get a little conversation going about Taiwan, just to get it in people's minds a little bit more, because it is like one of the most important countries in the world as we right now, and it would be a shame if we lost this place to China. Really would be a shame.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah. So let's look at what we'll just end by looking at what Taiwan's president Lai Ching-te said about the tariffs, and yeah, then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A, I guess. So here we go. I just translated it earlier
关
on
税可以
today.
从比照美加墨自贸协定，从台美双方零关税开始谈起。二、扩大对美采购以降低贸易逆差。行政院已经完成盘点，对农工、石油、天然气等产品的大量采购计划。国防部也已经提出军事采购清单，各项采购都会积极进行。三、扩
So military equipment, that's very important for them.
大对美国的投资，目前台湾累计对美国投资金额已经超过1000亿美元，创造约40万个工作机会。未来除了台积电加码投资，其他产业例如电子、资通讯、石化及天然气等产业，都可以加码投资美国，深化台美产业合作。台湾政府协助整合出台湾投资美国队，也期盼美国对等整合美国投资台湾队，让台美经贸合作更紧密，共创未来的经济黄金时代。四、排除非关税贸易。
Okay, so I mean that wasn't exactly the most fun little video clip to translate, to be honest with you, but you get the general gist of that. Taiwan is looking to cooperate more with America and sort this whole tariff thing out, right?
And I think that's the smart way to approach it, is because I feel like if you can stroke Trump's ego just a little and just give him something to work with to come back and say, hey, we've worked together, we're going to create jobs, because in the eyes of many Americans, not that it matters, but it's just, I think a lot of Americans just want a little something. I think that's how Trump feels. He just wants a little something. It doesn't have to be a big deal, just something. Because here's the thing, it is a big deal. China is becoming more and more powerful. And it is a delicate situation of making sure that we are on the same team. You know what I mean? And a little bit of investment, a little bit of trade goes a long way. Because EU is obviously a very powerful thing. America is a powerful thing. But EU and America are 90% on the same page with everything.
Yeah.
Whereas if China is not, they are the enemy for sure.
And I liked your point there about stroking Trump's ego, because you saw that you saw that with the whole Zelensky thing, right? I think one of the reasons why it kicked off the way it did was because Zelensky was seen as being a bit disrespectful towards Trump, because he does have a bit of an ego there. And you saw the British Prime Minister Starmer, when he met with Trump, he gave him an invite from the King of England, and for somebody like Trump, that's like a big deal, right?
Oh man, of course. And it's, again, not going to argue the point of whether or not that's having to stroke someone's ego is a good thing or a bad thing, but I just think that I think Trump does want diplomacy with all these countries. He does want something. He just wants something to show for it. And Taiwan is a great country, and I don't see tariffs being an issue with Taiwan or Europe or anything like that.
Yeah, I think hopefully they can come to some sort of a deal, like Taiwan is prepared for this kind of thing anyway. Apparently, they've like just activated a $15 billion stock stabilization fund or something like that. And I think semiconductors are actually exempt from the tariffs. So I think that's a real big relief for the tech sector, especially. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned because this could really shift fast. Things are very unpredictable at the moment, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. In the end, I would never question, the credibility or whatever between America and Europe and Taiwan. I would never worry about that because you know, if China were to ever try to invade Taiwan, regardless of how trade is going, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be allowed.
Well, let's hope that never happens because if it does happen, I will do this. Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and Corey, thank you for joining. Shall we do a little bit of a Q&A? Just take 5 minutes.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool, guys. So now is the time. If you have a question or a comment that you want read out, then please type it in and we'll try our best to answer it. We can't obviously answer everything, but we'll try. So yeah, let's see. And yeah, just make it a cool question or something interesting or, whatever. Just don't ask us about like personal things. Uh, yeah, let's see. Okay, we've got people typing in some Chinese. Let's see, what are they saying? So they're talking about the tariffs, saying like just increase the penalty, whatever that means. I have no idea. But yeah, let's see. What else are they saying? I need to learn Chinese a bit better, I think, because I think. Okay, this person's talking about how the legislative yuan in Taiwan makes laws. How can they do it when it's in such a mess? They're talking about the sort of inner conflicts that are going on in Taiwan right now between the freaking KMT and the DPP. That's like a different subject. It is absolute chaos at the moment, though. I'm not gonna lie, it is going crazy. What does Mike say? Guys, I've heard that factories are closing in China and employees are getting unpaid holidays. Do you have anything to say about that? Ori, have you seen anything about that?
Oh, I mean, it makes sense when you think about it because it was like when the whole tariff thing first started. Obviously my wife is Chinese. She has family where they produce things in factories in China, and they were complaining just about even the cost of they make, I guess, like electric scooter parts and things like that are performance parts, and they were talking about how it's really hurt their business and stuff. So I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be surprised at all, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like literally seen videos of employees go into the factories and like burning the factories down. There's been like a whole like load of just random factories burning down in China. And if you like link it all together, then you can see that obviously there must be a problem with employees who aren't getting paid. They're not just accidentally like burning to the ground. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Okay.
And
What is?
then,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
yeah, and I just think it's an overall bigger picture when you look at the companies through real estate that are failing, people having issues with their jobs and things like that, banks not having the money to give out. It just all makes sense, right? It all
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. What is the latest on the super embassy? Good question. I don't know. I really don't know. It seems to be that it's going to go ahead. So that's cool because it'll be a new place for me to go and protest and like just go and annoy them basically. So yeah, looking forward to it. Will you go to other countries to inform people on Taiwan? That is a great question, and yeah, something might be in the pipelines. We can't really talk about it right now, though. But both Corey and I have been talking about some possible things to do for the future. So stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure. To do something, more exciting than what we're doing now, and to make a bigger impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Looks like there's some arguments going on in Chinese here. Like someone's like writing like "le which is laji or le if you're in Taiwan. Like fucking hell, come on guys, give it a break. Let's see. Beijing airport removed all advertisements and replaced with unified. The economy is in trouble anyway, so why divert social conflicts in this way? Why indeed? I don't know, dude. Why? Why is why? Who knows, right? Okay. Ruin nation. Yeah, ruin nation is when the people of China are deliberately trying to destroy things like infrastructure and workplaces,
And
kind of thing. You know about that, right?
when does that shit not happen in China though? Chinese people
Yeah.
always mad at something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's just one big ruined nation. Let's
This week
see.
it's Korean vehicles. Next week it's we're gonna blow up our own buildings. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, next week it's like, let's just destroy every Toyota car because it's from Japan, even though it was manufactured in a factory in China and the guy driving it
Yeah.
is from China. Okay, then.
Yeah, that's
Does
Taiwan
Taiwan?
celebrate Easter.
Eh, good question. And I can't really say that when I was there, I saw people celebrating Easter. Maybe some religious people do though. Like there are quite a few Christians in Taiwan. So I guess those people do. But is it like a national holiday? No.
Yeah, that would be a religious thing. But it would have to
Yeah.
be a religious thing.
Okay, someone I study at London. Really appreciate what Lewis has done for Taiwan. Thank you so much. I love Taiwan. Okay, I think we're going to look at one more and then we're going to go. Okay, Corey. Sorry. Um, do people from mainland China need a visa to visit Taiwan? Yes, they do need a visa to visit Taiwan. If they don't have a visa, they can't get into Taiwan. Simple as that. So how that is the whole funny thing about the situation is like, why would you need a visa to go to your own freaking country?
Yeah, I've had that same discussion with so many people, and there's never a good answer because there is no good answer. It's its own country with its own border, its own military, you know. And here's the other thing: like Chinese people, they can't even go to Hong Kong without getting a pass. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
Macau.
they need a visa for Hong Kong as well, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have to get a pass. You know, you can sign up for a thing, and it's like a pass, and you can just go through the system. But you still have to sign up for something. You know, it's
Yeah.
not just a on arrival. Like obviously, you and me, we can go to a lot of different countries and just
Yeah.
show up at the door and be like, "Hey,
90 days, here I come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're lucky. We're lucky.
sure.
Yeah, but like just you need a visa if you're in China to go to Taiwan and vice versa. Like I think, if you're from Taiwan, you need a visa to go to China. I think everybody needs a visa to go to China unless you're doing that like ridiculous like visa exempt thing that they offered and what was it like 10 days or something?
Yeah, that they have that like Shanghai bullshit thing that no one ever does too. They're like, you can visit Shanghai for so many days or whatever.
Yeah,
Like nobody does that shit.
it's ridiculous, mate. Okay, well, I think that's it for today's stream. We've been running for over an hour now, which is, good for us. Good for us. Usually we do an hour, but you guys got 10 extra minutes. Wow. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Corey, you got anything to say before we go?
No, very, very nice. I appreciate having me on and all that stuff, and yeah, it's always fun.
Go and subscribe to this guy's channel right here. Okay. And Corey, you need to start putting some videos out, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna start putting out some stuff. I've already got some stuff edited. I just want to clean it up a little bit, make it a little nicer. And
Oh, nice. Anything interesting?
no, it's definitely not interesting.
Okay, you really sold me there.
Yeah, have to wait and see.
Okay, cool. I got a video coming out tomorrow where I bumped into some Koreans in London protesting against the CCP. So I interviewed one of them, and that'll be a video tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that one, guys. Yeah. And anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you same time. Well, no, not same time next week, because we're an hour late today, weren't we? So regular time next week, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Peace.